On this glorious morning, we're going to wait till every person joins us. As a covenantal faith tradition, our covenants are the way in which we practice our religion together, and they are aspirational descriptions of how we want to be in our world. Please join me as we recite BUC's covenant all together this morning, affirming that we as a congregation agree to as members of this beloved community. As part of this beloved BUC community, I promise to be my best self in all my interactions, assume the best intentions of everyone's actions, be mindful of our shared humanity in my communications, pause, reflect, and be part of the solution when things go awry. Thus do we covenant with one another. We gather this morning, called forth by love, to find joy and comfort in one another.
To bear each other's burdens and celebrate the mystery of life.
Come, let us worship together.
Good morning, Birmingham Unitarian Church.
Good morning.
Let's try that again. Good morning, Birmingham Unitarian Church.
Good morning.
That's more like it. It's good to be together again. We welcome our nonagenarians here today for their special honoring. And I also want to extend a special welcome to any newcomers who are here with us this morning. Please come have coffee with us and tell us all about yourselves. It's in the room to the left as you leave the sanctuary. It's good to be together again. Whether you're joining us in the sanctuary, remotely by Zoom, or watching this recording later, it is good to connect with you. As a multi-platform church, it is important for us to build a bridge between online and in-person participants. We call this connection opportunity greeting our virtual neighbors. First, we will project the image of folks who are currently on Zoom up on our screen. And we know you're in your pajamas, but please turn your pictures on, and they will give us a wave. Okay, that's good. Now, we who are gathered in person will turn to face the camera in the back of the sanctuary over there and give them a wave back. Okay, hi everybody. Whenever and however we connect with BUC, we are building BUC. At home, on campus, in the world, every day, we are Birmingham Unitarian Church, and we are building this, our beloved community. And now we join together with Unitarian Universalists all over the world to light our chalice. At times, our light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame before us.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our first hymn this morning, one of those beautiful classics, Spirit of Life, number 123, in Singing the Living Tradition.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
On this November Sunday, we are exploring the theme of generosity. We may expand our understanding of generosity, and we will create its link to legacy, whatever our age.
So for today's Time for All Ages, we wanted to share the poem To You by Langston Hughes, whose words will be sung by our amazing chalice choir later on in the service. Langston Hughes was one of the preeminent Black poets of the Harlem Renaissance and often wrote about the lived experiences of African Americans. For our young people who will be in RE classes and may not be able to hear this song as it's being sung, we still wanted to share this message with them in hopes that they will hear these words all together. We will hear these words all together. And as a community, reflect as we go forth into the world from this sacred space today. These words will be read to us by Debbie McMillan.
Hello. To sit and dream, to sit and read, to sit and learn about the world. Outside our world of here and now, our problem world, to dream of vast horizons of the soul, through dreams made whole. Unfettered, free, help me. All you who are dreamers too, help me to make our world anew. I reach out my dreams to you.
When we speak of generosity and what it means to be generous, we should remember that generosity isn't always tangible. I'd argue that oftentimes generosity appears in the form of thoughtful words and actions. Besides, we can't always be generous with money and stuff, but we can be generous with our time, how we spend it, and who we spend it with. And quite possibly, the greatest gift of all time is that time that is spent building our communities in the ways that strengthen our relationships with one another to lighten some of the load on our shoulders and on our hearts. Today in RE, children and youth will be exploring how we can express generosity and then empower them to find their own ways of acting generously. And at this time, we'll have all of our children and youth join us at the back of the sanctuary as we head off to class.
The mission of Birmingham Unitarian Church is to be a free and welcoming religious community that encourages lives of integrity, learning, service, and joy. One way that we live out this mission is by giving half of our weekly offering to a nonprofit organization that shares our values and addresses its needs in one of these areas: environmental action, economic justice, civic engagement, and racial injustice. We support a new organization each month. However, this month's plate collection is a little different. Our November recipient is BUC's Emerging Needs Fund. This is a fund that is used to provide direct support to people experiencing financial difficulty. This includes both people from our congregation who have experienced a loss or a hardship, and people from the community who have contacted us looking for assistance. Sometimes it is somebody who walks into the office right off the street. We typically ask for contributions to the Emerging Needs Fund in November in an anticipation of increased need during the winter. Let there be an offering in support of our beloved community and organizations that build the world that we dream about. This morning's offering will now be collected. Will the ushers come? Yeah. We're a church of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. With gratitude, we dedicate this offering to the good works of our congregation and dedicate ourselves to its service.
This morning we share the joys and sorrows of our community. Happy Diwali from the Deering and the Magrulker family to our BUC family. May the light within each of us shine strong to light our world. Although Harper West is not with us today, she shares the joy that she won her election to the Rochester Hills Library Board. And she is grateful for the help of many BUCers during her campaign. These joys truly include our honorees today. Their commitment through the years to our beloved community. Please stand if you are able as I share your name. Nancy Duffy. Daryl Ebing. Frederick. Larry Freeman. Grace Brockett. Priscilla Hildum. Sharon Hunter. Nancy Jones. Marie Miller. Ed Sharples. Helen Spangler. Marge Taylor. Marilyn Webster. Among life's joys, we also share in each other's sorrows. From Larry Larson, I am devastated at the very unexpected death of Ann Throop on Saturday, November 11. She was 92 and a member of our church for over 55 years. Ann lived with her daughter, Linda Throop, in Clarkston, Michigan, and was a very close friend of mine and a neighbor too. We share your sorrow. We now come to the time in our service set aside for a spiritual practice. New this year, we are including an embodied practice. Research indicates that the pressure and stress of the past several years has had an impact on our bodies and on our behavior. We have faced a lot of trauma, an accelerated level of change, without enough opportunity to process or integrate what we've experienced. We've added this element to our worship services in an effort to use mind-body integration practices to help us feel centered and grounded. Today's embodied practice is learning from Langston Hughes to sit and dream, and today to remember. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your gaze. Move your body around a bit to position so that you might gaze outside to our autumnal world. You might imagine that a tree is still yellow or red or still green with leaves. Just sit and dream for a moment. May the glory of the passing away of autumn lie about us, fresh gold for a time. And when the dark comes, and the cold. May we remember how today we stand in glory. May we walk in bounty, heaped upon earth's dark carpet. How we move knee-deep in abundance, flung against night's winter curtain. We are thankful for its coming and for its passing. Let it be.
We are so deeply honored with our nonagenarians who have more to their lives than any of us can possibly imagine. They include businesswomen when that was who came of age when that was an oxymoron. Women were not allowed into business. They include college professors, businessmen also. We have school teachers, chemists. Ann Troop was a statistician who worked for IBM, had a career with IBM. We have one who has traveled to Zanzibar all by herself, and I suspect that she is the same one that ran the BUC television program on public access TV for years under Bob Marshall. And of course, we include our beloved Morris Leffert, who died several weeks ago, who was a medical ethicist who at one point went to Ethiopia as a consultant on medical ethics. Now, having said that, this is the bad news. About a week ago, a friend of mine came up to me and she said, if you want to know what is wrong with BUC, just look at all the gray heads. The odd thing was that she had gray hair too. The question is, are we really liabilities considering the treasures that we have here sitting in the first two rows? I'm just going to look around and see what I see. I see 2 Peace Corps volunteers, maybe 3 of the ones that we have. We have world travelers. We have innovators of every sort. I'm looking just for gray hair here, folks. We have school teachers. We have librarians. We have a school teacher and librarian who had ventured abroad and met abroad on their trip there. We have everything in the world in terms of what you call accomplishments. And on top of that, if you just count them up, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer service to this church, to the community, on civil rights marches, on women's marches, on everything you can possibly imagine. We have dedicated environmentalists and lifetimes of generosity to all the nitty-gritty that keeps the church running. And I'd also like us not to forget that all the gray heads here have gone through it and been broken over and over by life's random, idiotic tragedies. We have had illnesses of our own. We have had the deaths of spouses. We have had intensely painful caregiving episodes followed by the death of spouses, not to mention the suicides of our own children and alcoholism and everything else that comes upon us. That gives us, because we are broken, a place for light to shine through. And I hope that all of us offer that light to the rest of the congregation, which either doesn't have gray hair or is cheating. And my conclusion to this is that we are not liabilities, but assets. Okay. And one of the nice things that I can speak for old age, because I'm 86 myself and beginning to fall apart, the nice thing about our lives, I think, for most of us over retirement, is that we have managed to get away from the world of competition and stress and territoriality and meanness. And I can tell you, nobody is meaner and more territorial and awful than college professors. Our loads have been lightened. There is a certain lightness to fragility. We have learned, most of all, that good and bad things fall randomly every which way with no sense. And so, I hope I speak for all of us, we have stopped trying to control things. We are not in control, and we just go with the flow and let as much light through the chinks as possible. And that's what Mary Oliver is talking about in the poem that I am going to conclude with. It's called I Worried. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers run in the right direction? Will the earth be firm as it was? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows sing, and I'm just hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism? Am I going to get lockjaw? Am I going to get dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up, and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang.
Today, we are honoring very special nonagerian BUC friends. Their generosity to all of us through the years has been significant. Listen as I share the research about generosity, and then you'll know why longevity belongs to these people. 1, generosity makes us healthy. Chronic high blood pressure kills millions every year. But one study found that generosity actually reduced blood pressure as much as medicine and exercise. Oh, and it's not just blood pressure. Generosity also lowers the risk of dementia. It reduces anxiety, reduces depression, and improves chronic pain management. Now, if you were able to package this and sell it, you'd be a billionaire. Number 2, generosity makes us happy. Giving our time and money to others gives us an emotional boost. Well, why? According to researcher Christian Smith, it's because feeling good is a product of doing good. It's built into your neurochemistry. You see, when you give, it triggers the chemicals like endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin. And it's true across all cultural and economic lines. It's just part of being human. Number 3, generosity lowers our stress. Now, we don't think of Scrooge as a mellow guy, now do we? Now, here's why. It turns out that being stingy can actually raise our stress levels. After hooking people up to heart monitors, researchers found that when they felt they were giving too little in a situation or a transaction, it actually drove up their stress. Being generous, on the other hand, kept the stress down. It's like the golden rule in action. Number 4, generosity improves our relationships. In a study of generations who were married, it was found that there was an effect of generosity and its effect on the marriage. They found that the recipient of generosity expressed high levels of marital satisfaction, but so did the giver. Participants report that when they were behaving in a generous fashion towards their spouses, that they felt the quality of their marital relationship was increased and more positive. Number 5, generosity extends our lives. You see, all this adds up to a longer life expectancy. In fact, one study of 2,000 participants in Marin County, California, found that volunteering dramatically reduced mortality rates. Subjects who volunteered for 2 or more causes, are you ready for this? Had a 63% lower mortality rate than those who didn't during the study period. Now, any wonder why the BUC nonagerians are so vibrant in our community? Thank you for your generosity.
foundation of a beloved community is its people, its values, and its service. We desire to create this community from the beginning of our children's lives. They're not here, but that's what they're learning. Nurturing and teaching them through the student years, providing service activity and fun during the young adult years, supporting the productive and busy years of adulthood, and listening and loving the mature years. None of this is accomplished without great generosity of all the participants. These three elements are easily taken for granted, ignored, and sometimes even forgotten. This morning, this season, is a really good time to sit, remember, and dream about the people, our values, and our service of our we. Remember the sight and feeling our recent yarn worship element where students managed our yarn? An adult was wearing the wrap 2 days later. I often remember when many years ago an older man noticed my tears during worship. I was sitting right back there. And he turned around and he said to me, "You are in the right place." I was a visitor that day, and today I could only hope and wish he was here. He planted a BUC seed, and he planted a people seed, and it gave me the courage that I still call upon right here. One only utters the word rummage in conversation, and people remember the stories. I see the smiles on your faces, the pride, and they step right back up to volunteer again. BUCers are seen on new city street bus routes after long and strong advocacy. They support women in jail with bail, and we wrap around our arms, wrap around teens and adults that are homeless. We are a people of great generosity, and the people have a lot more to dream about. Remember those values we post on our walls, speak in unison, sing about with lofty voices and notes? As we sit here in this beautiful and meaningful structure, which has well represented our values for 65 years, but also must further our dreams of sustainability and beauty. Can you even count the times that words like reason, humanity, justice, truth, love, equity, independence are remembered in our liturgy, in our education, in our committee work? We share, we repeat, and we remember them because those words and many more meaningful ones represent our values. We dream of a world that is equitable, comforting, just, compassionate, healing, joyful. BUC people value experiences: biking, lunching, dancing, baking, singing, serving, doing, on and on. We are a generous people of values who can dream up more ways to share those values in our world. Remember how we love service? We flip burgers, share treats while dressed as Captain America, run to replenish those treats. We shovel, we paint, we plant, we collect seeds. Some create special holidays for young families. Our BUC youth celebrate educators with holiday gifts. Here are strong values in action, putting energy, knowledge, hands, skills, creativity, feet, resources, and our minds toward our dreams. We are a generous people of values and service with dreams. What other faith community is so generous of thought in both understanding and action? Tell that to your neighbors. Tell that to those who ask you why you go here. As a newbie, I only know a small number of these examples and stories. They have generously been shared with me in this text. I kept it beside my bed for a whole week and read a little part every day just to keep me going to be here today. You know those stories. You can share them. 75 plus years and thousands of examples of generosity. They abound and are visible, even for a rookie. As we began this morning sitting and dreaming, we were inspired by Langston Hughes. I wanted to make sure I did not take for granted, ignore, or forget our generous BUC people, values, and service. Now that's a legacy. And a legacy is only as good as continuous dreaming for a continuous legacy. In my vernacular, our legacy must be continuous improvement. I hope this morning in our social time, you will continue to share with each other, with our honorees, and with me, more examples of the generosity of people. Your people, my people, our people. Here in person, by technology, and day after day together, take time to sit and listen. Sit and read. Sit and remember. Sit and serve. Sit and dream.
For our closing hymn this morning, let's join together in singing number 8, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit. If you would rise as you're willing and able. This hymn is authored by Norbert Chapek, one of the forefathers of Unitarian Universalism, and is also a forefather of our Ron Frederick, who is being honored as a nonagenarian today.
Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you? In the skies on in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, who am I? I am empty, time flows from me. What is time?
stand, you may sit. Go now into this world as a beacon of hope and joy. Go in love. Go in peace. Now that our worship has ended, our service begins. May it be so. Blessed be.
We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.